For the last 3 or 4 months, I've mainly just been climbing outside if I can. And when I have been climbing outside, I've mainly been focusing on trying boulders that are kind of at my limit. And this has been really good. I've climbed a lot of things that I've wanted to do for a long time. But this has also meant that I've not really been doing a very high volume of climbing, and I've not really been doing much variety of movement, as this often means I'll just be trying one boulder problem a session, potentially just trying one move a session. So I decided to spend an afternoon at Burbage South trying to do a bit of a mileage circuit on some boulders that I'd hopefully find pretty challenging, but ideally I'd be able to do them relatively quickly so I could get through a few of them. Most people who boulder in the Peak District are probably familiar with Electrical Storm. It's like this really classic 7B rising traverse up this kind of slopey ramp feature. There's a really good left-hand finish to this called Grease Lightning. So rather than traversing off right, you traverse off left. But last year, John Cofield added a direct finish to this called HiiiPower, which still goes off left, but then rather than traversing all the way off, finishes direct up the wall. Surprisingly, despite having lived in Sheffield for 6 years now, I've never actually done the rib before, which is kind of almost a rite of passage for any Peak District boulder. It's been a few years since I last tried it, so hopefully it'll go a bit better today than when I tried it last, because I don't think I got on very well with it. No! Oh man. God, I've seen people do that before and I always just thought, how can you possibly drop that? But obviously it's easier than you'd expect. On the next bit of rock over from the rib is a really cool little boulder called a Moveable Feast. I think this is a bit of a forgotten climb really. It is mentioned in the guidebook, but there isn't a picture of it. And as far as I know, it never really gets climbed. I'd never heard of pocket wall before, and there isn't really much information about it anywhere online, so it was quite nice to go up to a boulder problem with totally no clue on how to climb it. Without pulling on it, looks like it should be fairly easy, but it's actually a lot harder than I was expecting. It starts off this big undercut jug, then there's quite a big move to this little 2-finger pocket for your left hand, and then I worked out that I could basically put my heel just below my hand in the undercut and use this to effectively lock all the way up to the next pocket, using this little slopey dish as an intermediate. After finishing off pocket wall, my skin was starting to get a bit worse for wear, so I decided to finish off with a couple of lower sevens that I've kind of always really wanted to do, but I've never got around to actually trying.